The video is based on publicly available information, and all claims made in the video are backed by proper citations and references. Roman Abramovich, a well-known Russian oligarch, and his connection to Russian President Vladimir Putin. In February 2022, something significant occurred that had a profound impact on Abramovich. The passage implies that Putin unleashed a brutal and evil attack on Ukraine, and Abramovich's ties to Putin may have contributed to the downfall or negative consequences for him. The specifics of the unprovoked incident are not detailed in the passage. It highlights Abramovich's fame in the West due to his status as an oil tycoon and politician, as well as his high-profile purchases, such as football clubs, yachts, art, and property. Roman Abramovich faced significant consequences following the events in Ukraine. He was sanctioned by the UK government and the EU Council in March 2022, with his assets frozen and a travel ban imposed. The justification for these sanctions was the belief that Abramovich had supported and profited from Putin's regime. Abramovich, however, claimed that the sanctions were unfair, asserting that he did not have a significant financial connection to Putin. The passage raises the question of whether this was a case of rough justice and whether the oligarch was wronged. The investigation mentioned in the passage seems to involve peeling back layers of information, potentially involving discussions with politicians in London and Cyprus. It suggests a process of uncovering the truth or gaining a better understanding of Abramovich's alleged connections to Putin and the justifiability of the sanctions imposed on him. Financial experts express skepticism regarding the innocence of transactions involving former Kremlin insiders. When these individuals enter government offices, there is a widespread belief that their activities are not entirely above board. Anti-corruption campaigners are particularly concerned about the potential misuse of Cyprus by oligarchs to facilitate Putin's dubious dealings. The investigation began with leaked documents from the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists as part of the Cyprus Confidential Project. These documents have fueled allegations of both financial impropriety and political ties between Roman Abramovich and Vladimir Putin. Such suspicions have lingered for years. Newsnight, in collaboration with the Bureau of Investigative Journalism, has unearthed a compelling paper trail that appears to substantiate the need for UK and EU sanctions. This evidence prompts the question of whether the United States should also consider similar measures. The financial connection between Roman Abramovich and Vladimir Putin, as revealed by Newsnight, BBC Verifier, and the Bureau of Investigative Journalism, revolves around Abramovich being the beneficiary of a trust. This trust, in turn, held ownership of two Cypriot-registered shell companies known as Photo. Through a series of shell companies, in 2003, two Cypriot-registered entities named Photo each owned a 122% stake in Russia's monopoly TV advertising company, Video International. Surprisingly, they acquired this significant stake for an unusually low price of $130,000 each. By 2010, these entities had generated $30 million in dividends from Video International. However, in late 2010, Photo sold its stake to another Cypriot shell company, Med Media Network, and Grora sold its stake to yet another Cypriot entity, Namel Trading. Despite Video International reporting revenues of $3 billion that year, these stakes were sold for just $20 million each, a value seemingly below their fair market assessment. The nominal beneficial owner of Med Media Network was Sergei Rowan, a Russian cellist and conductor known for his close ties to Putin. Similarly, the nominal beneficial owner of Namel was Alexander Plov, identified by the UK government as another close friend of Putin. The paper trail suggests that Abramovich effectively transferred a 25% stake in a Russian company with multi-billion-dollar revenues to individuals close to Putin at a price seemingly below fair market value. Abramovich's connections in powerful circles were evident when he entered government offices, where everyone accorded him respect. Vladimir Milov, a former deputy energy minister of Russia turned opponent in exile, emphasizes the significance of this investigative work. He notes that the international investigative community is steadily building evidence connecting Abramovich to Putin, unraveling intentional efforts to conceal their relationship. When questioned about the possibility of an innocent transaction, Tom Cooing, a veteran finance and security analyst, expresses skepticism. He points to the track record of the involved individuals in facilitating such transactions and the recurring use of this mechanism to transfer value among Kremlin-connected figures. The investigative journey traces the financial connection between Abramovich and Putin to Cyprus, particularly a leak from a firm called Merit Service, responsible for managing Abramovich's global financial portfolio. Cyprus has played a pivotal role in discreetly distributing Russian money globally, shielding its ultimate owners. Sanctions imposed on Merit Service signal a change in Cyprus's practices, preventing oligarchs from using the island to support Putin's activities. Despite this, questions linger about Cyprus's compliance, and there are ongoing discussions about whether Abramovich should face sanctions from the U.S. government. The story also highlights the broader issue of industries profiting from questionable foreign money in the UK. While actions have been taken against banks, there's a need to address the involvement of state agents, accountants, and lawyers in facilitating such financial dealings. Efforts to seek comments from Abramovich, Ruan, and Plov went unanswered. The investigation sheds light on the true nature of the relationship between the oligarch and the president, prompting reflections on how it was concealed for so long and who ultimately benefited from this intricate web of financial dealings.